right, we're here. We are, after a slight delay for technical, we are back for Link to the Past, a ladder invitational. We've got Relkin versus Magnit. Two very, very good runners, frequent ladder participants, obviously, because, they're here and they managed to make it into the top 16 of Dunka's Season 12 invitational ladder for Open Plus. We've got actually quite the interesting hash. Multiple mushrooms. It's going to be a pretty good race. I believe this is actually their only first race against each other. Relkin and Magnit Handz, both very big fan of, well, moving fast. And, as part of Open Plus, we get these really nice pseudo boots. I'm Claire Mouse. Hi, Dante. How's it going? Ready for
Hey,
this?
I'm as ready as I am gonna be for some Open Plus. I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty excited. How
This
about you?
is. Oh no, I am very excited, and in fact, these, like Open Plus is actually, I think, actually one of the better modes, or one of the best modes that ladder actually has. It is for those of you who maybe have seen SGL last year, the modified hard item pool, basically it's actually very, very similar to this. Actually gave a little bit of a challenge to runners, and of course, not that it's actually specifically marked on the tracker. We actually do get to move fast from the get-go because, in this case, pseudo boost gives us movement. Not quite necessarily
Yeah,
like the logical implication of, boost for real boost and then like bonk off stuff, but we're going to be able to use all of the movement that boots are going to offer us.
yeah. You know what? We gotta save. Like, look, the game, the console emulators, they're like 30 plus years old, right? We gotta save those D-pad rubbers. No pumping today. Well, if you do, then Godspeed. But you don't have to in like the overworld and everywhere else because we got boots.
Yo,
Little
yeah,
dashy shoes. Um, I am all for it. I think we can have some fun with it. I'm really excited. Like I've been watching a little bit of this mode. It's kind of cool just because it's back to the one bow, silver arrow, separated type thing. Um, and then the adjusted pool, I guess you would call it. So it's kind of nice. Adds a little bit of flavor. It's a little seasoning to the open, and Relkin does have a different hash, so I'm a little concerned. Uh, we'll see if something gets resolved with that. Hopefully, he realizes. But I think we're about to get started here in the next few seconds, so this should be good.
yeah. Looks like yeah, we're ready to go. Magnet, I guess starting a sanctuary. We've got a map. You were saying something about a different hash, Dante.
Yeah,
So typically speaking, when we do a race for randomizer, we do see the same items coming out of the same chests. Relkin looks like he actually might be realizing that something might be amiss from his side.
oh no. Well, this is unfortunate, but these things happen sometimes. Anyway, Magnet heading into Uncle. I think he did do Sank already, but there is a sword on Uncle. So we got a sword already. It's always nice to have one of those. So Magnet gonna get his item. I did miss what was in the Uncle area, but that's okay. We're still working through some technical difficulties with the what you call it, the upload speed. Magnet looking to be trying to farm maybe a tier 3 tree pole, and I think Relkin may be resetting to get his get his correct seed. Okay, so we do have flippers on Magnet's side. So that is I think that might be what we missed in the Uncle Passageway chest.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry. I have a little bit of technical difficulties, but I'm good now. All right. So right.
Welcome
Okay.
back.
So yes. Thanks, Dante. All right. Okay. So it looks like though, thanks to magic, we actually already see. I think you mentioned this. You know, Magnet has already found the flippers. This is and a sword. You know, to be able to move this fast. You know, a sword is super helpful. Don't have to necessarily stop or anything. Oh, those bombs are actually pretty nice too. We're gonna be able to full click Kakariko with these.
Oh yeah, for sure. Always nice to have those early. Um so yeah, there's our map check. Looks like we have a green pendant over in Eastern, and there's our first
Oh,
glove.
geez. Now, okay, Dancy. Magnet, I believe, you know, is in the camp of we don't go to Eastern Palace unless there is a very good reason. And I really hope today, you know, that the good reason does involve some sort of progression, you know, because that is a great reason in order to go over to Eastern Palace.
Yeah, I gotta say this is a interesting opening route. I get it. From Magnet, just like instantly heading back to the back of Escape. Hopefully
Mm-hmm.
this is something good. 3 bombs, $20, and there's a fire rod.
Oh,
So hey,
hey, yeah.
odds are we need it. So good find.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the fire rod, of course, does have a few logical implications in that, you know, Dark Cross now is in logic. Yeah, well, at least, you know, light source wise, because we are able to light up all the torches. When we do eventually, of course, go to the Dark World, you know, we do have, well, Skull Woods is actually now fully clear, but with that fire rod. And good on Magnet to remember that, you know, he hasn't found the real boots yet. So very good on him to actually, you know, throw a bomb in order to
Exactly.
bomb open the back of this cave. All right,
Yeah,
looks like the yeah.
definitely something to remember in this. And I've watched so many really good players like forget that. It's so easy to
Mm-hmm.
forget. There's a hook shot in Blind's Hut, so that's a little useful. Be glad to have
Yeah.
one of those.
Yeah, and so now suddenly, you know, of course, Death Mountain actually looks pretty appealing. You know, we don't, of course, have a lamp or flute in order to, you know, get logical access, but, you know, with that glove, you know, assuming Magnet can, you know, rescue the old man in the dark, we've got actually quite a few number of items that we can get over there.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's pretty appealing play. Um, I know a lot of people are going to want to put that off maybe until you could get a mirror and or a hammer to kind of complete the whole the whole thing. There's the flippers on Relkin side and Pearl for
Mm-hmm.
Magnet hands inside the well.
Yeah, speaking of the hammer, oh, there's a
Oh,
lamp too. Jeez. Okay. All right. Well, suddenly now we actually have a logical access to Deathman. All right. So, Dante, are you gonna try and like wait out and find that hammer, or maybe like even
uh,
like minutes?
man, it's tough. It's real tough. You know, I if I'm in Magnet shoes, I'm gonna go ahead and clear out Kakariko, and then I'm gonna see what I've got. Maybe make a decision from there. I think you're kind of okay in this regard to go ahead and maybe do South Shore. You know, just to kind of hedge your bets. Oh, there's a second sword inside Escape. Relkin
Okay.
opting to do the castle. Magnet skipping over that for the time being. So that's going to be a nice bit of offensive power in our pocket, in our hand. Magnet doing Chicken Hut, not saving the chicken. I'm a little
Mm-hmm.
sad, but I respect
Yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he has to know who he's commentating for. You know, speaking of though, did you see that really nice Chester that Magna did
Oh,
instead?
yeah. Oh, and there's Ether as well in front of Escape. So definitely some good items. Don't know if we need that Ether just yet. No mitts, obviously. Very early. No access to those places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you know, the fact that Vulcan found this Master Sword, you know, in the Hypercats map chest, I mean, you know, combine this with, you know, Magnet's like cape and, or not cape, lamp, I don't know, like, are you potentially thinking this might be like a Nagaseed?
It's way too early to say. We're literally like one piece from Dark World access, and Magnet went ahead and checked, I believe, to see if there was something at Lumberjack, and I believe it was garbage. So I'm gonna try and put Aga off in this case as much as I can, especially with
Mhm.
that much open on Death Mountain, and it kind of looks like that's where Magnet's headed at the moment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, and it's certainly very reasonable, right? You know, he's got logical access, and you know, we've got once we're up the mountain, we can do basically all of Paradox Cave.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and then of course, you know, if we happen to find, you know, something good, like as you mentioned earlier, hammer, a mirror, well, you know, suddenly Hera becomes a nice option. If we can find Mist, then we can immediately go over to, you know, the Dark World and do Dark Death Mountain as well. Like, there are actually like a really good number of options here for Magnet.
Yeah, for sure. Relkin getting a small key.
Oh man.
So I guess we could have probably deduced that's where that was. So he's gonna go to the back the long hard way and gonna get that glove really quick in Kakariko. So not gonna waste too much time, I don't think. He's got a sword. He should be all right.
Yeah, well, so I guess like I haven't really been paying attention to the price packs or anything like that, but Relkin doesn't have a bomb, right?
Oh, you're absolutely right. That is a good catch. I was not paying attention to that. So
See, this is why
he's
the issue with pseudo
probably about to
boots.
find out.
If any of the
Oh,
rats,
and
oh,
it's
looks like
not
it's just
the.
a magic bot. Oh
Oh,
no, that is really disappointing, unfortunately. Ether, in this case, even bombos will not help you break open those very fragile walls. We do, in fact, need some sort of bombs or real boots. That was the third sword that we just saw in Spec Rock. Okay, suddenly we already know where all three, well, 3 of the 4 swords are already.
oh yeah. Well, that's always nice.
Yeah, and of course, you know, with this modified hard item pool, you know, for the most part, offense is pretty much the same. There are 4 swords, only 3 of them are placed. You can't, sorry, all of them are placed. You can only keep 3 of them. So, you know, the fact that, you know, we did see Relkin pick up a master sword in front of Escape, we do know where this 3rd sword is for Tempered. Assuming, you know, the 4th one doesn't show up, of course, these runners are going to be pretty dang happy and comfy, you know, on Tempered.
Oh yeah, for sure. Relka confirming for us that yeah, Aga not necessarily required for an item at Lumberjack, could be required still, but there's our small magic, so half magic if you will, with this altered item pool. That Moldorm is doing his best.
Dude, yeah, he's quite slippery to be able to basically squeeze through, you know, the space between the chest and that switch. I mean, you're gonna have to like be pretty limber in order to be able to get through that.
Oh yeah, for sure. And there's their glove for Relkin.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, the fact that Roken now has like 7 bombs, right? 80 just by the glove. I'm not quite sure if he's feeling the greatest, you know, but at least, you know, he does have access now to the back of his case, which of course we know from Magnet's side is actually pretty important because there is that fire out there.
all right, and Relkin doing the same play Magnit did early on, which is you know, saving and quitting out of there and heading right back to back of escape. So he'll get his fire rod, and you know, all things considered, he's just what, a Kakariko and Mountain Clear behind. So
Yeah, pretty much.
and he's done front of
Mhm.
escape. So considering we had that little bit of issue where he had the wrong seed to begin with, you know, I think he's still in this pretty much.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's super early, you know, and there are, and really, I think on, you know, Magnet ended up going up to the mountain. He did end up getting, I believe, powder from that, but
He did, yeah.
other than that, yeah, there's not too much I think left. Oh, looks like the Magnet, you know, with the flippers, with the glove, the fact that the seed hasn't really given us a lot of money overall, looks like he might be interested in going over to Zora, but of course he's going to need a little bit of extra cash along the way for an entry fee.
Yeah, always nice to have
That was
extra
interesting,
cash. So,
yeah.
and that's a pretty quick. I mean, it's a pretty quick setup for what he did there. If that's what you know he's concerned about.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you know, we do actually see that, you know, Relkin here and, you know, Magnet, even though it's a little bit earlier, you know, this is an early game, the health situation isn't, you know, ideal. Relkin's still on 3 hearts, Magnet, you know, is on 4 hearts at this point, but, you know, I think that's also part of the, you know, by construction, the modified heart item pool has
Right.
2 heart containers, 1 sank heart, so 3 effective heart containers, but everything else comes from heart pieces, so the growth of your health is also pretty slowed. It just gives you a little bit of extra challenge.
So this is going to be first look at the dam. Relkin getting us a chicken hut check. We already got this from Magnit.
Yeah, you think he's gonna give us a Chester? Nope.
Not today.
Sad. Also, no chickens rescued either.
Yeah, just you know, and we got a little bit of extra cash. Magnit ever so close to the Zora money that I think he's craving at this point. You're really hoping no 300s show up. I kind of think if you're Magnit right now, just because you made that commitment to the play, with doing the Houlihan. So whenever you do that, you always kind of early. You hope it doesn't show up. There's silvers. That'll be nice whenever we find a boat. Now flute that early is kind of interesting.
Wow.
And the
oh my gosh, dude. Oh my. All right, so both bows. Okay, we just see that in this case, Magnit went left to right. We got proving that this is actually non-progressive bows. Because we did find the silver arrows separate than the regular bow. But jeez, what a mini Molder cave. We got both bows. We've got the flute. Yeah.
That's
spicy. That is a lot of stuff. So suddenly, this should look like Maggie's gonna try and maybe like make his way over to Ice Rock Cave. Could activate his flute. Might still float over to 8. You did mention earlier, Danzy, we haven't gotten any richer in terms of rupees. He might maybe try and hedge a couple more checks before maybe trying to take the plunge over to Zora.
Yeah, and it's kind of fast to do a Gina with this flute. If you want to do one additional check, it really just depends on how thorough you want to be. This is also really good for Magnit because he's going to be able to go ahead and route this bottle in, especially if this is something good. Just a piece of heart, though, as small as the health is in this seed, that's, probably considered a good thing at this point.
Yeah, he's all the way up to 5 hearts now. A couple more heart pieces, he's going to be able to go up to 6.
So Relkin gonna go ahead and head to Saha. Now, this is gonna be very bad for him if he decides to go ahead and dip Eastern, just because we already know where the bow and silvers are.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, this also, and it's it's also a little bit unfortunate for Relkin, because we know from Magnet's side where the flute is. It's in Mini Moldrum Cave, so he's running over here is not going to be, it's going to be a little bit slower as compared to fluting over. But Saha has a lot of stuff though. So that is our Darkhold Axe Smiths, in addition to Bondo's medallion. That's a pretty good stuff. You were saying something about Eastern Palace.
I was, and looks like we're headed there. There could be something in the front. All 3 items could be there. Green Pendant could be a wash. You never know. We'll find out. We're going to find out together here on the ALTTPR Ladder Twitch channel.
Yeah. I'm not actually sure how great Relkin, necessarily feels about Eastern Palace. I do believe that, there have been some strong opinions, of this particular location. However, though, maybe, part of his decision making has been influenced by his kind of like rocky start at the very beginning.
Yeah, so there's item number 1 for Relkin, and just 3 bombs. But, Magnet's sitting at 0 bombs, so bombs are always nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially we don't actually have boots yet, too, right? We did see, Relkin try to go over to the back of his cave, farming out a couple rats, hoping that they were going to be in a nice bomb prize pack, and unfortunately, that was not the case. Well, if we were going to nickel and dime our way over to Zora, looks like, Magnit has achieved it. Also good on him for remembering, in this case, that, his 1 bottle actually has, it always comes empty. We do get to keep 2 bottles in our inventory, but they're never going to be filled with anything. So anytime it kind of, maybe it gives a little bit of extra value to the waterfall and maybe Pyramid Fairy if we go over there. Because maybe you get like a free, like potion, freebie, fairy, something, right, to kind of help you out.
All right, so here is Zora, and this is going to be, I'm not going to say a big moment, but it could be. We've got 3 bombs, so...
Well, at least for Magnit, he's certainly not going to turn those bombs down because, 30 seconds ago, he had 0 bombs, and now he has 3 bombs. Alright, the Relkin, making his way through Eastern Palace. The big key was early, and I think also we had seen that the map that was in the big chest. So of course this is going to be Relkin's last item opportunity, just because well, we did see on Magnit's side both the bow and silver arrows were in Mini Molder Cave, which he has not been to. Looks like, though, unfortunately, this is not his... there's going to be nothing really of value in terms of items that he can access, but looks like he is maybe thinking of getting the extra 90 rupees here in the back. Maybe a little bit actually heads up thinking that, so far, the amount of money, available in this seed has actually been quite low.
It has. And even though, like, we just saw another big 20 there, on Magnit's side in Agina, I mean, that's still not going to be enough for Relkin if he even starts to consider, Zora. But he is thinking about money, because he did get this, the $100 or whatever it is back here in Eastern. So Relkin does have mitts, and Magnit's not too far from getting those. We'll see. We'll see what he decides to do. Oh yeah, Relkin also hasn't done South Shore, so I guess we're doing South Shore too.
Yeah, Relkin basically hasn't been over here like at all. I don't think the dam had anything useful, but once, assuming Relkin kind of goes over to Mini Moldorm Cave, that is basically going to be where the rest of his values is. Meanwhile, though, yeah, Magnit here is over in Eastern Palace area. Now, the fact that he does have mitts and Pearl, he might be maybe tempted to go over to the Dark World, but looks like he's running out. Oh no, he's fluting. So Eastern Palace looks like it is going to be at least put off the table for the time being.
Yeah, definitely not happening for Magnit right now. But I mean, this is a smart play from Magnit. He did this early, so he might be thinking, what if my opponent got mitts before coming to the mountain? And that's kind of exactly what happened here. Relkin just hasn't even gone up there yet. But this way, Magnit's like, if a hammer is up here, that locks out so much. Down in the in the mainland of Dark World. We do get a map check here, 5-6 over at Ice Palace, and then Thieves and Skull is our pendants.
Yeah, it's exactly what you want to see, right? We have mitts, Dark World access, and then, and of course we have the Fire Rod early, so, what are going to be our most, likely pendants? Well, of course, it's going to be Skullwoods and Thieves Town.
Yeah, just one of those days. Like, I guess, do we, take some... Oh, we have Fire Rod, but do we consider to go to Skull Woods? I think a legend once said that you never skip that. I think there's some other legends that say you have to, so I really don't know what you do in this regard.
Well, given that we're here on the ladder channel, I feel like maybe we shouldn't piss off management, at least for the time being.
I mean, I think it's a pretty good check. I don't know if you do the whole thing, but you do at least a little bit of it. So Relkin also going to set up the Houlihan.
Yeah, and it actually did, right, so he, after going over to, Agina, he basically did, stop by the 50 rupee cave, and it looks like he was also very interested in, securing some funds, basically to go over Zora. We got flippers, we got, well, both gloves in this case, and some sort of looks real, I mean, Magnit, though, yeah, making some real, what? Are we going back for that chest, Magnit? Magnus? Oh, we did not open the top chest. Okay, alright, okay, at least he remembered.
Oh my god, he did that.
Good thing that he didn't, just leave after that chest. Holy cow. Yeah, so the mirror is, Magnit, I was gonna say, Magnit is doing, an excellent job basically going to, all these major progression items, finding the mirror, almost leaving the key to Samaria behind. Holy cow.
So Relkin's getting his flute, arrows of the silver variety, and his bow. Magnit making okay. I was like, "What are you doing, dude?" But then I get it because we did see a
well, that's right. There's a sword up here. Yeah, and of course for Magnit, this is his master sword. He hasn't been to the front of Escape yet to get his tempered. So yeah, and of course, no hammer so far, means that the sword is going to pretty much be our only weapon against Moldorm. And you really, despite the appeal of an NMG Moldorm fight, I'm pretty sure most people take a Master Sword over Fighter Sword.
Listen, there's no appeal of an NMG Moldorm fight for anybody playing this game. When Rando gives you tempered, you take it. So
that is, you're 100% correct, Andy. Never mind. You know what? We will take a hammer, and I'm actually when Relkin comes up here, right? He's actually gonna have tempered sword in addition to that hammer. Well, that's our like full Darkhold access. Holy cow!
what is this chain?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm losing it.
This is amazing.
This is really unfortunate for Relkin. It's just going, I think, a little bit bad to worse. Headed to Dark World now, so he's probably gonna do like a full sweep of a lot of Dark World without that hammer.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on how things, I doubt he's gonna go do Thieves Town right now, but he is gonna go ahead and double down on these pendants. We're going into Skull Woods.
All right, you know what? Relkin knows he's on ladder. He's racing the Open Plus. I believe he has seen time and time again the value of Skull Woods, especially when you say that there are some legends who tell you basically when you come into the Dark World, this is the first place you go to. So I think he's definitely down on this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Now, unfortunately, it looks like the Magnit tried to make its way over here. Unfortunately, didn't quite manage to stay on the second to most, third most top floor, so had to make a kind of an extra climb. But you know what? We're here, Moldorm. He's got a hammer. He's got Master Sword. He should have enough health. Cool. That Moldorm cheese.
Moldorm saying, "How you doing?" Just gonna give you a little love tap there, but. Magnit making me a little nervous sticking his sword in there. Oh yeah, we got a poke.
Did we get a poke?
That's why I was nervous. But we did get a spin to finish it up, and is gonna get his first crystal for his troubles.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like though, unfortunately on Relkin's side, did he get maybe bullied by Gyptos or something like that? Just outside the reach of this chest that has a map in it. Relkin's got his peace of mind, at least.
Exactly. We do have Fire Rod. I mean, we could go to the back.
Yeah, it looks like though Magnit.
There's our fourth sword.
Oh, jeez. Well, in this case, when Relkin, never mind, comes up here, to the mountain, he's gonna be able to see a really nice shiny green 20 rupees for his trouble.
Yeah, no yellow swords in this mode. Today.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so like Magnit, I would say his routing has been just very on point so far, right? It looks like he is not willing to kind of leave any loose ends, and this actually I think is very reasonable. Can certainly do in this case. Finish a Para Basement, get the last item. Would you do Spike Cave here in this situation? I'm not sure if we have enough health.
Don't think we have enough health.
Okay.
Unless. I don't know what's in our bottles.
I guess
if we even have anything in our bottles.
He has one green potion, and it looks like actually we don't have any invincibility item.
Yeah,
so it looks like maybe that's not
going
to be possible. Yeah.
Oh, there's a mushroom too. So if he does Spike Cave here successfully, then I'm gonna sign him up for a tutorial on how to do it. But he is getting the flute out, heading away. This might be go ahead and just turn into mushroom. Like you did it. Go ahead and capitalize on it. I didn't quite see what that was on Relkin's side, but we did get a bumper cave check on his end.
Yeah, unfortunately, I also didn't quite see it either.
Look, I don't know if our magic tracker saw it or not, but so there's the single arrow. So if Relkin skips that, that'll be, good for him. Relkin gonna give us the C-shaped house right here for 10 nice arrows.
Yeah, Magnit actually, stopping by the potion shop, picking up actually has second green potion. Maybe this is also being a little bit, money conscious. We do, of course, have the hammer. We have the bow and silvers for that matter. We have options in order to be able to go over to pod. Probably didn't want to, spend all of his money buying a blue potion when maybe he's thinking I need a little bit of extra cash in order to go over to the pod area.
Yeah, maybe he's paying a little more attention to the prize packs or hedging his bets here inside Hype Cave, but I kind of am curious as to, why he went ahead and spent that money, because we're still about 20 short.
Are we just skipping chests?
Are we just skipping? Okay.
Okay.
Oh, there's the little All right, so dramatic effect.
Man. Yes, that's exactly what it is. I mean, I mean, can we? Yeah, it's skipping the Cadence of almost skipping the Cadence of Mario in Hookshot Cave, almost skipping, the real boots in this case. Oh, Welcome finding a book in the front of Beasttown. That's actually pretty interesting here.
All right, and chat notifying us. Oh no!
Oh,
Magnit taking a death.
Mm-hmm.
So chat notifying us that just a heart up on the bumper ledge, so nothing of value. And Relkin gonna take an intentional death warp to get on out of Thieves Town, as he does not have that mirror just yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, right. We know, of course, from Magnet's side that the mirror, along with his almost skipped Canis Amaria and Hookshot, was in Hookshot Cave. So.
Are we making the Ice Palace play?
Wow, Magnit. Maybe this is exactly why he bought. Yeah, maybe this is why he bought the second magic potion.
No, I like what I'm just now seeing. That is our other 5/6, and Hera was the other one. So he's going to be able to route in Pyramid Fairy at the same time. So this is just kind of you've got to do ice anyway. You've got a cane. It's fast. Might as well do it.
Mm-hmm. And of course, yeah, Magnit is certainly very capable, doing Ice Palace. I would say, low-ish percent. It's not, super low, right? We do have 6 hearts, but of course, we still are on blue mail at this. I'm sorry, blue mail. He looks blue. Green mail at this point. And so certainly the extra potions, especially a little bit more firepower on Cold Stare, is certainly going to be very helpful.
Yeah, and we did see Relkin picked up Quake as well, so Relkin has all the medallions. Now, Magnit still does not, still has not gone to Front of Escape. That's where Ether is. I'm sure he'll get Quake. So, that could be, a little bit of a thing down the line, because maybe that's when Magnit routes in, like when he does Pyramid Fairy. Maybe he decides to go ahead and do Front of Escape at the same time.
Oh, dude, that's actually super efficient, man. That mirror is actually, yeah. This whole route by Magnit, coupled with that mirror, is actually going to be super efficient. Hey, look, speaking of blue, so Relkin Sprite did get a chase of clothing. We did find blue mail on Stumpy. Magnit certainly wouldn't turn blue mail down at this point, but looks like he is doing just fine.
Yeah, having blue mail's a little more comforting, just going around everywhere in a panic this early on, especially with those, like in this area with those bombers. They do so much damage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost, I mean, it's not quite like inverted, but it almost kind of feels like inverted level difficulty, right? Inverted, you basically start in the Dark World with 3 hearts. We didn't really get to Dark World any healthier, honestly.
Right, and there's the boots for Relkin.
Relkin not adding any dramatic effect, as opposed to Magnit in this case. We're gonna get the boots, in the first couple chests as opposed to the last ones.
So yeah, if you're just joining, kind of the biggest thing of the difference right now with these guys, Magnit has gone up to the mountain, done the Dark Mountain. The Dark Mountain has Mirror and Hammer and Cane, so it's kind of like there's a lot of progression up there. It's just kind of a pick your poison deal. Do you want to go to the mountain, or do you want to do everything down in the like regular world?
Yeah, not on the mountain, right? I mean, and even though we do have basically like all of the full movement items, we've got the flute, we've got the boost, we've got even a hook shot, right? To kind of make I do see kind of Magnit try to make his way over, across the ice physics. Mountain climbs are really not cheap, right? Probably a mountain climb, yeah, it's like probably another like minute or so just by going up there. So you really want to try and do some risk analysis. How comfortable are you, kind of going up there, especially if you can maybe find a couple of extra things that can make your mountain trip like more efficient, right?
Yeah, anytime you can have something be efficient, you want to do it. And that's probably something on Relkin's mind. We are going to get Smith check here. Just a full heart container. I'm sure it's the Saint heart. I'm sure Relkin will be happy to have that.
Yeah, and it's sort of kind of unfortunate too, just because again, the mirror makes Smith Chain a little bit nicer, which Relkin of course doesn't have because it was still on Dark Death Mountain. But I mean, that's good. Like I think maybe Relkin's kind of hoping maybe he can find a mirror, before he kind of makes his way up there. And this particular case, we just see that the mirror is actually just up there, so we won't be able to find it not on the mountain.
Right. I gotta say, that was a really good fight there from Magnit Handz. Did the dash poke strat with double spin, looking like he was playing NMG, but we had a Master Sword. So it took a little extra, but did very well for a
Mm-hmm.
fairly low percent fight. Nicely
Yeah.
done.
No. I mean, there's a reason why both, Relkin and Magnit are in, the Invitational. These guys not only would play 10 races, or at least 10 races in order to, even be considered, they basically placed in the top 16, which there's some pretty dang scary names, these guys included.
Oh, yeah.
So certainly, within very good company. Oh, Relkin's going to give us a pedestal check, capitalizing kind of on this book here with some knowledge. Knowing in this case that the pendants are not going to be required in order to beat the seed.
All right, so Quake required for Meyer over on Magnet's side. Don't have that on his side just yet, but it is known. I think that is in the Thieves Town area. There is the cape, so we do have an invincibility item to potentially do Spike Cave down the line. That's kind of the one thing on the mountain that Magnet hasn't done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that looks like though, after Colster, maybe Magnet is like kind of maybe making a couple quick checks. Maybe take a peek into Desert Palace as well. We do have, in this case, silver arrows. We got the fire rod. I think whatever's gonna, kind of float his fancy. But maybe he's going to try and maybe clear out a couple more crystal dungeons. Maybe before kind of going over to like the front of the escape and maybe thinking about doing like Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, I mean, this is smart from Magnet. He is literally doing dungeons that are required to get to Ganon's Tower to beat the game. So, the more of these you can knock out, the better. And having boots also better because we can knock that key down. We're going to need that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, boots in this case hard required because without real boots, pseudo boots does not have enough strength in order to shake that big key off the torch.
All right, so small key as well. Relkin going to actually head to desert as well, but we're just doing it with the book. Get your prayers in chat, and the door will open.
Yeah, I mean, actually, very very kind of interesting, right? Because in this case, I don't know if Magnet is gonna do the front four of these, at all. Because certainly right now he's got a lot of stuff, to do otherwise. But yeah, that book actually, not only did it kind of grant Relkin, like the knowledge that in this case, like pedestal isn't required, but also gives him entry to Desert Palace.
Yeah, for sure. So over on right side, just a compass. So looks like we are headed to the balls.
Jeez. Interesting, movement actually there on Magnet's side. Like he's certainly not afraid of spin speed, but I guess, he's willing to kind of take like the more roundabout way in order to guarantee that he does not fall off the ledge.
Yeah, you don't want to fall off there. That's a pretty big time loss, no matter how you shake it.
All right, so yeah, but pretty much very similar loadout in terms of offense. We do of course see a very major sword difference between Magnet and Relkin, but at this point, I don't think either of them are going to use the sword very much in this fight.
Yeah, when you got silvers, you're just gonna knock it out. You don't want to use magic because that's just gonna make your with the fire rod. It's quick, but it's also gonna just make your refill during the crystal cutscene or post crystal cutscene be even longer. So yeah, just if you can get the one cycle here with the silvers, and Magnet showing he's got what it takes, taking him down the Landmo, getting 300 big old schmackaroos.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, actually, typically, especially kind of like the mid game, level, probably to end game, people really kind of stop caring about money, especially after they paid off whatever, like Zora, maybe Pod, some other kind of mini games. They spent 500 rupees for Zora, and like that was kind of like it. They were kind of starving for money. This 300, lets Magnet go and buy some more potions if he wants. Very free, basically go to Pod. He can basically afford everything else he needs. Let's see.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of Pod, that's exactly where Magnet is headed. Relkin showing he's got what it takes too, and getting his 300 biggins. And we'll see what Relkin decides to do next. Kind of think, well, he's probably going to check the mire area here since he keeps putting the mountain off. But yeah, we get 5 items in a full clearable pot. This is, another required crystal. It was said in chat, Ice Rod is kind of our no mode. It just may be a little bit of time before we see Magnit going and getting that Quake that's going to be required.
Yeah, no, this is actually a very, very good point. Yeah, Virgo's right. So we saw on Relkin's side, the Quake was on dig game. It is going to be an overworld location. Magnit probably doesn't quite have that on his mind, just because, again, he's got clearable dungeons. But hey, if the Ice Rod happens to be here, we got ourselves, actually, I would consider to be a pretty fast seed.
Yeah, for sure. Relkin making his mountain play now.
Nice.
So this is going to be good for him in terms of kind of evening things up. He is going to be a couple dungeons behind, but yeah, like I'm pretty sure like we're going to be on an even like item footing. Now Magnit breaking out.
Whoa, dude! I did not know that Magnit could could get even that far.
He's been working on that.
That's awesome.
He gets it a good bit. I respect doing it once and then bailing. Getting another item there, so I guess we're headed right side, the good old-fashioned way.
Oh, dude, is it actually faster to hookshot over to the lamp and then like walk back? You see what Magnit did, as opposed to just like walking into the portal? I don't know.
That is something I've not timed, so I can't. Yeah. I can't say.
It looked really cool, by the way. Like it certainly was a little bit different than I think that what normally basically just hold left to get over there.
Yeah, I mean, quick swap is one of the one of the great things with Rando that there's some tech that's probably yet to be discovered as far as like time saves.
All right, we got a bunch of keys. Magnit, of course, is making his way back. Now, of course, we know from Relkin's side where the other 2 swords are. Magnit, so the other 2 swords are the big chest of Skull Woods. And the front of escape. Currently, neither option probably is going to look super appealing to Magnit as of now. But of course, we don't really know what's going to happen here after he finishes up pod.
Right. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see him go ahead and do Swamp. It's fully clearable, unless there's something I'm not thinking about. But this isn't keys randomly or inverted keys or regular keys. It's open plus.
Open plus, that's right. And actually, the fact that you actually bring up Swamp, right? It is a clearable crystal again. And in fact, especially after we go into Swamp, right afterwards, we're going to be in great shape in order to go to Pyramid Ferry, probably up to the front of escape as well. All right, so far though, nothing really happening here in pod of Magnit trying to get rid of the Kadongos. We do have the mirror, so we don't have to end up taking any, painful, very slow death warps.
Yeah, the death warps would be super slow in this case, unfortunately.
Yeah, but this is at least Relkin finishing up kind of his Dark Death Mountain checks. He does have a cape in this case, which I don't believe that Magnit had when he was up here. So maybe with enough resources, Relkin might be willing to try Spike Cave.
Yeah,
but certainly gonna go.
Might have enough with the cape and everything. I hope for Relkin's sake he dips Hera first though.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. And of course, we did say on Magnit's side, the Hera basement does have an item, and it happens to be the mushroom. But of course, they turned that in, for a single arrow. Which, if Relkin, kind of decides to kind of opt out of that check, it certainly won't, in this case, burn him. But Relkin, doing the front of Hera, which in this case, we definitely see, he's going to be vastly rewarded. In this case, with the hammer in the map chest. Magnit trying to make his way to the back of pod. Unfortunately, the turtles did not quite cooperate, but he's going to try and use the hammer, and man, he wants as much health as he can get before going over to Helmasaur.
Oh, yeah. Relkin gonna have to be a little careful here. It does get by the Kadongo. Sometimes that guy is just brutal. It doesn't let you by. But he will be able to get a fairy in here and refill all that health.
Yeah. Quite the, yeah, looks like quite the creative strategy, kind of getting a combination of bombs and a hammer.
Yeah, I saw him do this in a ladder race semi-recently on his stream. Very nice fight here. And I thought it was kind of a neat tech. I'm not sure if it saves time, but you know, if it does, that might be something, you know, another quick swap thing that's like super nice. But he's gonna pick up his 4th crystal here.
Yeah, no, Magnit is making like tremendous progress. You know, certainly the early light world, you know, routing was actually, you know, very, very good for Magnit. Ends up, I think, getting, you know, like the glove, get access, you know, to the back escape. You know, remembering that, you know, in this case, you needed bombs in order to get back there. Got the mitts from Saha, decided to go up the mountain early. You know, was able to do, you know, Dark Death Mountain, and then he was, you know, very handsomely rewarded with, you know, both the mirror and the hammer. So it's just, and then he's just been able to, you know, knock out all of these dungeons basically just like one by one.
Now, this is another check that Magnit hasn't seen yet. We do have the Ether Tablet. The only thing of value here is going to be, and it's not, that's a heart piece, but it could have been Ice Rod. That's the only thing we're worried about at this point. Like, that is Relkin's go mode. That is not quite Magnit's go mode.
Yeah, it looks like the Relkin actually maybe wanted to take a peek at the Ether Tablet before kind of making a commitment into doing Hera Basement. Looks like he is going to, in this case, go back. So I guess I would imagine in this case he would do Hera Basement, get his mushroom, and then, you know, maybe come back out and do Spike Cave. In this case, right, so nothing basically would be left for him on the mountain.
Yeah, I mean, you just get rid of everything at that point. Like, if that's Ice Rod, that's huge. Because it'll probably be a good while before we see Magnit head back up there. Maybe the book persuades him, but it's only one check. Really tough to say. And obviously, that's a really big if. You know, there's a lot of checks in the game. There's a lot of stuff we haven't seen yet. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's still like a lot of game in this case left to play. And you know, we're here in Swamp Palace. We've got. Starting out with the bug net, it is a unique item, but certainly from Magnet's perspective, I believe he is, you know, really, you know, looking for, in this case, like a fire rod or a quick medallion, basically to, you know, because you really want to try and find these, you know, one item that basically doesn't lock anything else or much of anything else on the sooner side. If it happens to be like in his path, right, it's going to be all the better for him. And of course, from his perspective too, he also wants a sword. Of course, we know we're not going to be able to find that here.
So gotta be a little careful here on timing on Relkin's side. Should be fine. $20.
All right, but you know, at least Relkin in this case was very thorough. Full cleared out the mountain. Doesn't have to ever come back.
This is true. So now it's kind of going to be what order do you do your dungeons in? You know, Magnit chose to do Ice Palace, and then, you know, kind of going from there. Relkin kind of has the same option. He could just head straight to Pod. He could head straight to Swamp. We'll have to just wait and see what he does. We know we're not going to get anything of value on this mushroom, though, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, not even going to pick it up, even though Relkin can absolutely hold one more arrow in his quiver.
I mean, that item fanfare takes, like, 10 years.
Yeah, that is true. that is definitely true. Yeah, and also to answer your question in chat, right? So the 2 swords that Magnit is missing that Relkin does have, the third sword was in the front of Escape, the Hyrule Castle map chest, and then the 4th one was the Skullwood's big chest. Magnit got the
Dunka's house.
That's right. Dunka Woods. I like that.
Yeah, Dunka Woods. Forever changed.
All right, though. All right, Vulcan, you know, very hot on Magnet's heels, though, ready to basically clear out his next crystal dungeon.
Now, I gotta say, I never saw Magnit check the TR medallion. And relkin definitely didn't check it because he didn't, he's got all 3. So, I don't know. It's like, do we need ether? Like, we might. That's kind of like a really big, potentially big thing. Also,
yeah.
I'm told Magnit did check it. Okay, so both of them are Quake. Did my research. Clearly on the screen. All right, so we're headed to the back. Headed to the back on Magnit's side. We do have a few more items. Nothing of major talking points on left side swamp. Just being thorough with these crystal dungeons. Got a compass in the flooded room as well as $20.
Yeah, and we did see the map in the compass chest. So, and look, there's the big key. So, I guess if Magnit chooses to come back in, at least get a couple items out of it. Yeah, that's like a kind of like a not great, a dungeon item placement for Swamp Palace. Alright, so, Magnit, getting ready for his Argus fight. Unfortunately, still on Master Sword, so definitely not going to be, kind of like the more, like, textbook or, comfy, tempered sword fight. But Magnit looks like he's going to handle this just fine. Going to try and pull a couple puffs and do a spin so we can basically kill, 2 of them at once. Does have to be a little bit careful. The puffs don't do that much damage, but, suddenly when you got 5 puffs on you, the health damage can add up pretty quickly.
It does. It really does. So you just have to, be mindful the entire time. You do have, Magnit going to have Silver Seer, so this should be just a one-shot, one-kill.
Yeah, nicely done. And of course, is already replenished. We didn't even need the one. We got 9 bonus ones as a reward. Okay, so that is Magnit's 5th crystal.
Yeah, we're just at we're at that point of like, when is Magnit gonna go to race game?
Dig game?
Oh yeah, dig game. It's the Dark World race game.
Yes, that's right. Sorry. It's it's the inverted race game.
I mean, you have to race how fast you can dig everything.
That is true.
I'm really trying to make this work, but we're going back into Swamp Palace. That's important on Magnit's side. Going for the big chest. 1 item remaining. Will it be important?
Yeah, so I guess right at this point, Dante, like, jeez, okay, well, that shovel is actually maybe a surprisingly good fortune because that actually might lead Magnit over to do dig game or in race game. Wow.
Very well could.
Oh my gosh.
We're at least gonna head over in this area. It's gonna be hard pressed for him to bail at this point unless he decides, unless he decides to go like, all right, I need to do like catfish with the pyramid and escape. All of those things. That's a lot more items than this area, so it's a hard sell.
Yeah. And I guess, like, I'm gonna assume that in this case over, he's gonna pick up Blue Mail from Stumpy, and then presumably, if he still goes over to Dig Game, he is going to at least have access to both Meyer and Turtle Rock.
All right, so $20 there on the shovel.
Yeah, the fact that Magnit is coming back to the Dark World, though, looks like he is kind of interested in venturing
left or right?
Yeah, looks like he is willing to go over here. This is very, very good news for Magnit. So presumably after Quake, I mean, do you still kind of do the rest of the, I guess, like Smith Chain? Go where I assume you're going, like, or do you go to Meyer immediately?
I think if you're Magnit right now, things have been looking really good. His route has just been on point. So once he sees Quake pop up, I would just straight up head to Meyer. Like, You've already got silvers. The fight should be pretty free. Speaking of free fights, Relkin taking down Helmasaur, getting his 3rd crystal.
Yeah. Relkin, of course. We do have a little bit better equipment as compared to MG, but Relkin has a very outstanding 125 time. So Helmasaur, I think he has a lot of practice in.
So Magnit heading back into.
Is this Pyramid Fairy into the front of Escape maybe?
Could be.
Very, very, very interesting. He is certainly going to head north, it looks like. And, thanks to that 300 rupees that we picked up from defeating Landlos, yeah, we have more than enough funding in order to secure this big bomb.
Yeah, we're high rollers now.
Yeah, everyone has to start somewhere. We're definitely kind of, grinding out, the money bit. A rupee, saved is a rupee earned. Suddenly, though, we've got some really good fortune on our side. Magnit actually doing some pretty nice movement, with the hook shot and being able to kind of like dash, and basically making his movement a little bit faster here, in order to get to the pyramid.
All right, so we actually haven't even seen the item on the pyramid, so this is going to be a new check too. 3 bombs. That would have been useful earlier because they were really hard to come by for a while. But we do have two new checks, Heart Piece and Heart Piece. Match made in heaven there.
Alright, though meanwhile the Relkin is gonna make his way through Ice Palaces as far as another, clearable crystals dungeon for him. Good thing he ended up kind of going up the mountain before coming in here, so he has the Cane of Samaria in order to do Icebreaker. Magnit though, maybe this is kind of what you were saying earlier, right? His routing so far has been just so good, right? And so on point. Maybe he in this case is kind of willing to be a little bit more, thorough, kind of go, to do a little bit of like the out of weight check, so he doesn't end up, losing, by I only just skipped Catfish, and half an hour later I find out it has my ice rod or something.
Well, you just got to go with your gut a lot of times. Obviously I can't think for Magnit. I would say just maybe ice rod's in Mire. If it is, great. If not, then I'll make a hard decision. So I just don't see the point personally of making the hard decision earlier than you absolutely have to. Just $20 there on Catfish. So now this, I'm hoping this is a Mire play from Magnit at this point, and it looks like it is.
Okay, yeah. No, this is certainly going to be, this is going to be giving us a couple of new checks. There are going to be 2 items that we can get in Mire. So, and of course, we are hoping in this case that we're not going to have to go probably to, the vanilla cutscene chest, because that does take up quite a bit of time. Hopefully we're going to get, both items before the big key. Because, so Dante, because, so if you find one item, and then you find the big key, or you find the big key early, what do you do? Do you still finish up the dungeon, full clear it, and then go to Vitreous? Do you kind of take the chance?
Well, I mean, let's take stock here. The way Magnit has routed this, he has avoided all of North Dark World as well as the boots checks in North Light World. He's not touched Village of Outcasts at all. So, given that you've been able to skip that much so far, I kind of think you have to make sure, or you have to ensure you get both items here. Because if you skip this now, and it's important, you're sunk. You're going to do way too much more before you come back. That's kind of why I was saying, just do Mire, and then you can make hard decisions afterwards as to where you want to go, to search for the ice rod. But obviously, the probably the first thing we're gonna see Magnit do is probably dive TR. That's my assumption.
Oh man, and of course, being on ladder, especially if you believe in Dunka,
So that's what you don't want to see when you still look at an item. But Magnit says, I don't care. We're hovering, and
holy cow. Nicely done, Magnit. Jeez. He has definitely been hovering his boots tech here. Thank God for real boots.
Oh, unfortunately taken a smack into that block.
Did he, did he potentially lose Spooky? I didn't really see.
Oh, yeah,
well, he's definitely going to lose Spooky, yeah. Well, if he didn't before, he's definitely gonna lose it right here. Gonna try and pound his
Alright,
anti-fairy.
we got his spritz on, we got a
Yeah.
fairy, we're having a good time, we're back at full health, we're energized. And Relkin
Magnet was
following suit.
hoping, yeah. Oh yeah, Magnit, actually good on him for remembering, by the way, that it was an early big key, so he does not have to hit the switch in this case. Always a great feeling, by the way, when you got the early big key, go hit the switch and then come up to this, you're like, oh no, I have to now go back and hit the switch again so I can get to the room.
And see, like, this was kind of the play I was talking about earlier. Is like, if Ice Ride shows up here, he's probably going to feel a little bad about that little bit of overworld time. I would say, like, so far, sans Ice Rod, because that's, we don't know where that's at. There's one 50-50 that's kind of the big tail of this whole seed right now, and that's doing the Dark Mountain when you have the opportunity.
Oh man, so just a small key on Vitreous, which means that I believe we've got 0 out of the 2 items, correct?
Yeah,
so
there's still 2 here. I'm going back in, like, at this point. Okay. In Magnit shoes, I'm going back in. Maybe not in Relkin's if he decides to do something different, just because, of the wrong seed start and then, just laid up the mountain as well.
Yeah, alright, well, okay, so Magnit, it is doing what you had potentially predicted. He is going back into Mire, so it looks like Relkin maybe going to get a little bit of a head start, though, in terms of doing the rest of the Mire exploration for us. Oh yeah, with the big key, yeah, Magnet's basically going to go to the right side. Actually, so we're going to get 2 new checks, on simultaneously for both our runners. Just a map and the compass chest, and oh jeez. Alright, okay. Well, definitely we're only gonna see items at this point, right?
I would hope. I would absolutely hope.
We found the compass already, we already found the big key, we already found all of the small keys, apparently. We did find the map and the compass chest, so surely there are only items left at this point.
I'm kind of surprised Magnit didn't do the right side now, because he's gonna have to traverse back across.
Oh, right, for the map chest, right?
Right.
Like the one with the one directly under like the spike chest.
Oh, well, I guess he doesn't know that it's going to be 2 items like we do. See, that's where, being in the comm booth, you're just blessed with seeing a lot of things.
Yes. Oh man, yes, right. Relkin, he did find the first item, that was available to us, which was unfortunately just 3 bombs. Yep, and yeah, the map chest is ended up gonna have our last item. But yeah. I
was gonna say Magnet's gonna be the first one over here. Drum roll, please. Just $5. It's blue, as people like to say.
Yeah, even more complimented with the bomb, that Magnit decided to, place on the chest. Yeah, it looks like though, I mean, it's kind of unfortunate just like with the item placement, Magnit did, decide to come back in, did the right side first, and, I think he was really hoping that the last item was not going to be in the vanilla big key chest. Unfortunately, his hopes were not fulfilled, so he is going to have to, maybe cut himself a little bit of extra time in order to get these 3 bombs.
Yeah, you always want to avoid this cutscene if you can. It's always nice when the big key's here, in a way.
Yes.
Just because, you got to do it, and you don't have to think about doing it. And honestly, it's not that long. But as competitive as Rando is these days, it's real. You don't want to give up 2 seconds on anything. So.
Yeah, and especially like Magnit doesn't really know what happened to Relkin early on, right? I mean, Relkin is like an incredibly scary opponent to face. Like Magnit, there's no way that Magnit is willing to kind of give up time versus Relkin.
Right. Speaking of, so this is going to be giving time back to Relkin somewhat. With finally doing some of these checks, I think we're going to see Magnit going to go ahead. Maybe he does this and heads up the mountain. Maybe this is some quick hedging his bets type checks.
Yeah, right, and you know, like these boost checks are relatively fast. We got King's Tomb, Bomb Crocs, right? Magnit didn't really have an opportunity to kind of like do these after he got the boost from Hype Cave, and so you know, being able to kind of just like dash through these couple screens, it's certainly it's a good peace of mind too.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so there's Relkin's
right,
small
yeah.
key, but getting his 5th crystal, always nice to have.
Yeah, Magnit finishing up some of the overworld checks. Right, I mean, Relkin is certainly very much in this. You know, he still does have a Swamp Palace in order to clear. And remember, you know, we don't know where that Ice Rod is. You know, basically, you know, there have definitely been some stuff that Relkin has done, you know, that Magnit hasn't. And, you know, once Magnit, or if Magnit does that, something's just going to be, you know, basically a wash between these two runners. That was a really nice Waffle House.
It was.
Magnit didn't lose his super speed at all. That hookshot MVP of that screen.
All right, so Magnit making the TR play. Meanwhile, Relkin does have to do Swamp Palace. Probably was trying to find a way maybe to go mode that. Can't say for sure. But he does have Book, and if he does Ether, that's going to be something we haven't seen. You know, if it's there, that's quite a not that much of a chain. But Magnit would have to go to the Village of Outcast, I think, into Thieves Town area to get said Book.
Yeah, Relkin also demonstrating, you know, he doesn't have his trademark shield in front of him to protect him from the front of Swamp Palace. Unfortunately, he just had to take a little bit of a nick there. He is going to go into, looks like, Swamp Palace before Bombo's Tablet. Certainly very reasonable. You know, Bombo's Tablet does take quite a bit of time. But of course, you know, we ended up seeing everything that was in Swamp. You know, so from our perspective at least, Bombo's is what it was going to be a new check.
Yeah.
So coming into Turtle Rock, so right, if you believe in Dunka stats, you know, especially here being on ladder, the most frequent location for where that Ice Rod Magnit is extremely brave, by the way, being able to slash Baris while he's on the conveyor belt. He is definitely not afraid of getting shocked and knocked off. But yeah, if you believe in Dunka stats, the most frequent location of that Ice Rod is on Laser Bridge or Mimic Cave. So. Believe, I guess, in this case, if you are, especially if you're rooting for Magnit here.
I don't know what to believe anymore.
Yeah.
In 2022, in randomizer, I don't know what to believe.
Hey, dude, we've come so far. You know, we have an invitational tournament here where we can go fast. You know, from time 0, right? We don't have necessarily all of the logical implications of you know, real boots, but we can use all of the boots movement, and you know, that basically just makes the fun. You know, like that makes the game just so much more fun.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was a nice Kane strat.
Magnus showing us a little bit of swag here. Certainly knows, you know, how to rile up a crowd.
All right, so let's see if Relkin decides to go left or if we're just going straight to the back. We're going back.
Well, right. So from Relkin's perspective, he is still just in, like, he's just missing the Ice Rod, right? I mean, Magnus certainly is as well. But, you know, if the Ice Rod just happens to be back here, you would feel kind of silly, maybe, you know, for doing left side first.
Yeah,
left side
that's always
is
possible. Now, Magnus' situation was very different when he was in here. Getting the coveted fairy drop.
Oh,
from that pokey.
Yeah. Alright, just 50 more rupees. At this point, we don't really need any more money. Magnit is still, you know, not quite the Laser Bridge yet, or Mimic Cave, but we are still, right now, both runners just looking for that very, very elusive but classic Ice Rod.
Yeah, stranger things have happened. Now, I'll be curious to see. Honestly, if I'm Relkin, I think what I'm doing here is I'm going to go check Bombo's tablet, and then I'm going up the mountain too. And you're just kind of crossing your fingers and praying. You know, maybe my opponent had a bad time. But, you know, if he goes up, that is definitely going to be, you know, time back in Magnit's pocket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and we're okay. Oh yeah, we're definitely doing apparently the chess first. I see where a couple of schools of thoughts here are in Magnet's case. It looks
It's
like though.
only correct if it's the right play.
Yeah. All right. Well, wait. Magnet did pick up a shield for his troubles. That certainly could have been quite helpful. For the front of Swamp, maybe off the pyramid. We do get actually another one of our 3 effective heart containers. Certainly not going to turn that down at this point, especially when to go basically facing Trinex at this point.
Yeah, for sure. So Relkin headed back into Swamp. We'll see if he goes beyond this big chest. There are 3 items left. Would be good for him if he decides to. He does have Mirror out. All right, he's out. So we'll see what his next move is.
Yeah, this looks like some nice use of the spin speed or the hook speed in this case. Trying to kind of basically avoid all of the enemies. Even though it's a little bit more roundabout way, he definitely didn't get hit whatsoever. So nice routing on Relkin's part. Yeah, this is going to be definitely a new check. Relkin's also very. I don't know. Are you always kind of like nervous about dashing off the ledge if you dash upon those tablets?
I don't think about it, but I'm sure the moment I do think about it, I will dash off that ledge.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it looks like the book, at least, from Relkin's perspective, got him entry into Desert before the mirror. But it looks like everything else kind of after that, tablets-wise, wasn't really necessary.
All right, so we're on Laser Bridge. This is moment of truth for Magnit Handz.
Yep, 5 rupees, a blue compass, a map, and this is going to be our small key. Yeah, so we're certainly going to need this last small key, but we are going to have to go find that ice rod somewhere else.
Now, this is where you feel bad. Like, you instantly go from feeling, all right, I've made a really good route for this seed, and now you're kind of thinking, I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I think that goes through every runner's head. Just because when it's ice rod hunt, you just it literally could be anywhere but Trinex, as the meme always says. But here we are. Looks like so we're gonna go do Front of Escape. That's gonna give Magnit a nice tempered sword for his trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But this is time back to Relkin. I'm sure Relkin's probably headed to TR though, so we'll have to wait and see how this all shakes out.
Yeah, looks like he is going to make a slight detour to Pyramid Fairy. This is also very reasonable, two relatively fast items, and again, when going up to Turtle Rock without that ice rod, it is always going to be a difficult decision. So it looks like Relkin is kind of wanting to hedge a little bit here. But as also to your point, even though Magnit is now kind of even in terms of offense with Relkin, getting the Tempered Sword, all of these options now are open to Magnit. Anything that he's going to do that Relkin has already done is just going to be, time right back to Relkin at this point. And, Relkin has done right. He's done very reasonable things, right? Front 4 of Thieves, Village of Outcasts. These are high item dense locations. Certainly very reasonable for Magnit to kind of do the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And Relkin saving and quitting. Before he did that, I was thinking there could be an opportunity for him to maybe say no to TR just because of how the seed has played out and, the little bit of time at the beginning that, he had that issue. But he's going to go to TR. I was going to say maybe we haven't seen Graveyard Lich. So that would have been like something to route in with Catfish.
Oh, yeah. We haven't seen... Right, so what haven't we really seen so far? We haven't seen Graveyard Lich. We have not seen the Green Penetratant or, the back of Eastern Palace. Welkin went over there kind of early, but unfortunately did not visit Mini Moldorm Cave to pick up, both his bow and silvers. And so he just ended up getting, I think, like the front 2.
Right. So, just taking stock, we know Pet is dead. We have not seen Magic Bat, so this is going to be a new check for Magnit.
Right, and we also haven't seen Purple Chest as well, because Relkin was over here without
Cave.
Oh right, yeah, because Relkin was here without the mirror, and so he just kind of dropped off the smith because that's kind of really all he could do.
Yeah. All right, so Magic bat.
Yep.
Red
it
meringue.
is not what Magnit is looking for. It's not even the right color. He's like, I already have the fire rod. Please give me the ice rod.
Get the petition ready. I want Ether
Yeah.
to freeze the firehead.
But I mean,
All right, so this is the Eastern play. More time back to Relkin, unless it's in the back. If it's in the back or on the green pendant, then I think that's going to make it definitely Magnet's race to lose at that point.
Yeah, and you're right. And, so Relkin, of course, coming into Eastern Palace early and did not, unfortunately, not have what it took in order to finish up the rest of the dungeon is not probably going to be his first priority after he finished up Turtle Rock and not have the Ice Rod in hand.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this is some good use of quick swap, by the way. With the cape and all, like basically using the cape to dash through the cannonball so he doesn't get hit, and then just quick swap right off. Like doesn't he have to, kind of wait for that, animation?
All right, so I think let's see. Let's kind of recap here as far as these groups go. Let's see. Is this Relkin's first race in this group stage?
That's what I'm gonna say. Because I think Magnit maybe already played before.
Because we got a lot of checks here, obviously, that are like the same thing that we've seen.
Yeah, it looks like, right, so this is Relkin's first match, guess basically, so right, it's, who else is in this group is Schultzer and Hitsu. Really, by the way, really scary group for these four. I have no idea who's going to make it out of it, but this is definitely not a group you want to be in order to have any, hope of advancement for tournaments. But yeah, this is Relkin's first match. It looks like Magnit already played Schultzer. And this is going to be his second match. Don't want to maybe necessarily give too many spoilers.
The only thing we know is that Relkin's undefeated right now.
That's right. You are absolutely correct.
0-0 for the group. A hot undefeated. All right, so there's Relkin's $50. Magnit going to be getting the Vanilla Bit Key chest, and then we're going to go do some new stuff.
Yeah, so right, anything after, I believe it was a heart piece here, and it kind of depends on this case of what Magnit has decided to do, or is going to do here. Yeah, but meanwhile though, Relkin is, pretty much, kind of quickly making his way through Turtle Rock. Unfortunately, not great pokey RNG, so, kind of had to go chase them around for a bit. Always kind of hoping that, you get something, good in terms of movement, so you can basically kill them with, like one sword spin. What a bomb throw, by the way. I always thought that was gonna like ricochet back, but it just kind of kept going. So.
All right, so this is the Mimic Cave check for Relkin. Meanwhile, Magnit headed to the hardest boss in the game, the Armos Knight.
Yeah, hardest boss in the game. We've got 23 silver arrows. Hopefully, Magnit's not gonna have too hard of a time here. And not even retro too, right? We don't necessarily worry about money. Every silver arrow is like 50 rupees or something like that. Quite expensive, actually, when you take down Armos. Hey, look, we got a shield.
Relkin's finally got a defense in front of him. So, all right, big moment here. Armos does have an item, and it is the boomerang.
It's the other boomerang. Yeah, okay, so this is good news for Relkin so far. If he never comes back to Eastern Palace, at least we're not going to use the boomerang. Well, I guess maybe that's words spoken too soon. Because we still have the green pen tournament, which I imagine Magnit is just going to run out of Eastern Palace and go talk to Sahajima immediately.
Yeah, so this is kind of it. And Relkin's dipped every pendant dungeon at this point. He just hasn't, cleared any of them. All right, so $20 on Saha. So green pendant, not our answer. So it's either back of Skullwoods, Graveyard Ledge, the middle to later half of Smith Chain, aka Hammer Peg, Purple Chest.
Yeah, all right. This looks like it's gonna be. That's right. We have one item back there. I think we find 3 items in the front. Oh man, yeah. So this really looks like it'd be a spike cave check for Magnit Handz. You know, certainly much more better equipment. You know, he's got more health, more magic, more invincibility. Unfortunately, we know from Relkin's side that it is definitely not the Ice Rod, but this is going to be good, for Relkin, given this time, basically time back.
Yeah, he can actually do a decent bit and preserve that portal. If he shows, he hasn't done Ice Rod Cave. I didn't even pay attention to that.
You are 100% correct. Relkin hasn't either because they got so excited from the mini Moldrum Cave, right? We got what, Flute and
no, Magnit did do this. This is I'm 90% sure Magnit did this. Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay, that's okay. I guess maybe in this case, Relkin. Oh yeah, no, Magnit did this earlier when he did all his like flipper checks as well. That's right. Yeah. No, you guys are correct.
Okay, I got
Relkin.
A little excited. I didn't know what to think.
Yeah, but Relkin kind of demonstrating the power of the real boost because Magnit, while he did have flippers, certainly could logically get these checks. With pseudo boots, you cannot water walk. So Relkin's going to show us how to get over here just a little bit faster.
All right, Magnit going to go ahead, looks like, and check North Dark World. So these are, we know Bumper Cave is not it, but we don't know about Graveyard Ledge.
But yeah, Magnit, I mean, he's right in this area. I certainly can't imagine him, not checking this. And presumably after Graveyard Ledge, this is probably going to be Skullwoods.
Yeah,
since he is kind of in the area. Relkin here, back, or maybe not necessarily even back, just doing Waterfall Fairy in his water checks.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. Yup. All right, 1 hour, 17 minutes and change. Magnit Handz is in go mode, fighting the Ice Rod. Finally, after I don't know how many minutes, it was a Graveyard Ledge all along.
Yeah, that's a really hard play. It
is, though.
There was both of them were kind of in the position where they could have done that, and that might be what Magnit's thinking right now. I could have done that right after Pyramid Fairy, after before I did Catfish, but I didn't. So depending on what you're thinking about, you could be kicking yourself, but no one's done as far as you're concerned racing at this point. So you just gotta do your best to play it out.
Oh, yeah. And of course, this is kind of at the moment where you hope that all of the extra what-if situations or, moments of dread don't kind of catch up to you, because at this point, right, especially with, like, Temper Sword and whatnot, like, execution is going to be pretty important. Like, you really don't want to drop any more time because, there's really nothing left to find. You just kind of have to play your game. That's it.
Yeah, for sure. And I gotta say, like, this is kind of interesting. Magnit basically going to be avoiding all the Smith Chain, all the Village of Outcasts, and all Skull Woods.
Oh my gosh, the dream, right? Like,
yeah,
that is actually quite that's a ton of stuff in this case that Magnit didn't have to do. But yeah, it looks like though, unfortunately, the fact that it is, I think you mentioned like Graveyard Ledge too, right? We couldn't unfortunately keep our portals because we had to mirror and generate a new portal. So you are going to see in this case Magnit and eventually Relkin go through Turtle Rock, as an encore because we were all so happy and excited to be here the first time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Though looks like Relkin back in the Village of Outcast area. This might be, I think you mentioned, the second semester of Smith Chain to do maybe like hammer pegs and maybe also deliver
this a trimester.
Trimester, that sounds great.
Yeah, there's 3 portions: the frog or the smith, the hammer pegs, and so that's what we're calling it.
Yeah, that's really good. All right, yeah. Magnit here, kind of going through Turtle Rock. It is actually surprisingly maybe faster than you might think going through it second time, just because you don't have to explore, open up all the chests. You can basically just go straight to the back. But yeah, after this point, Magnit, taking down Trinex, he is going to be able to go into, Ganon's Tower. Very comfortable loadout, I might add. Tempered Sword, he is definitely not going to miss, or nor can he even get a sword upgrade that we know is in Skullwood's big chest. I think he's quite good with Tempered Sword. He's got silvers as well. We do have a little bit of a cape. I believe he also has both his green potions as well.
Yeah, he does. And Relkin taking that death warp there, a little slow, but gonna do it just to try and preserve that TR portal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like telling me he's probably not even headed towards Graveyard Ledge at any given point in the near future.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, being able to reuse your portal, for Turtle Rock will save you a ton of time, right? Like, on the order of minutes, because, we still see, while it is faster, to kind of go directly to Trinix, from the front, it is still quite a bit of time commitment, right? And you can basically just, climb the mountain and just, like, drop to the back. It is significantly faster. And I think that's why Relkin is basically trying so hard in this case to save his portal.
Yeah, for sure. I guess this is the catfish play. So there down goes Trinex for Magnit Handz. That's his 7th crystal coming up hot and heavy. And then we're headed into the big old Ganon's Tower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, more money. This is where all the money is, apparently, like on bosses, like in the Dark World, or at least on bosses that we couldn't even like get to in the early game.
All right, Magnit, you just got to go run over here, open the door, and then find a big key. We still got to find a big key. You know how that goes.
Yeah, well, I think our chat also knows where they might guess where the GT big key is. See a good healthy mid check area. Now I guess I don't know necessarily too much about like what Magnet's kind of like preferred GT routing is. Common runs, of course, are go do Stavros room first, get your at least one guaranteed small key, and then mirror out and do Hope room or into Compass. But looks like that's probably what he is going to do. So I'm gonna check the torch first. It is a small key. We are gonna go pick it up. Magnit is like a master with this hook shot, right? Like there are like just some things where it's like I didn't even think about, and then I just watch him like use his hook shot. It's like, oh, you could do that.
Yeah, I don't know if it saves time. Maybe it does, but even if it doesn't, it looks really cool.
Mm-hmm. Looks like the Relkin.
Oh no!
Is
right by it.
He really wants to save his portal. I think that is.
I respect the commitment. I mean, that's exactly what you have to do in a situation like this, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it is completely reasonable to do, right? Like, it just happens to be, in this case, that we know from Magnet's side that it is, unfortunately, the portal is not preservable. He is going to have to go to Graveyard Ledge eventually. It actually looks like we actually had a pretty early big key, finding it in Hope Room as well. And so Magnit, not even have to worry about, right side GT, rando room, ice armos. We're going straight to the top.
We got plenty of keys too. He clipped that mimic out too. That was sick.
Was that intentional? Like, I guess it must have been, right?
I hope it was intentional, because even if it wasn't, if he gets in here and talks to us, I want to know, and he better say it was intentional.
Yeah. All right, though. Yeah, Relkin is at least going to give us a couple more checks in the back of Peacetown, at least. But unfortunately, is definitely not going to have the ice rod that that he is looking for. Alright, not even going to try for GVZ, very understandable. Magnus had very excellent cape and hookshot usage through his entire seed. Certainly not surprised to kind of see him pull this out.
Yeah, honestly, like, if you got cape and you remember to quick swap to it fast enough, might as well.
Yeah.
Don't even risk it, just run it.
Yeah. And Magnus also, I would say, using his fire rod pretty efficiently. I mean, he basically just took down that Stalfos room like super fast. He also does have at least 2, green potions, to his name.
Yeah, so he'll, he's got plenty of safeties.
Yeah. So I think he's in this case, like he's not worried about kind of like the magic expenditure, right? You might be a little bit worried on, just Master Sword, just because, the magic consumption, for like Ganon especially, it might be a little bit dicey. But we got silvers, like we literally don't really have much to, much to worry about. And if you're not gonna kind of, like use those potions, like, well, like I mean, like why are they there if you're not gonna use them?
Yeah, for sure. All right, so there's a map in big old chest, the Thieves' Town.
Yeah, unfortunately, Relkin is just kind of going through the motions here. And of course, he knows that pedestal, is certainly not active. I guess I'm kind of curious to see once Blind drops an item if he will just save and. No, I guess he has to save and continue, right? So he has to pick. He has to. Does he have to pick up the pendant? Like, can he basically like skip that part? If he's still trying to save his portal? Do you happen to know?
I guess we'll find out together.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I don't know if the mirror works. I think it does. I've never tried it. I've always just saved and quit. And I know that's what he's trying to not do.
All right, 10 rupees, 10 arrows for Relkin's trouble.
All right, so it looked like you couldn't mirror.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so Magnit taking on Moldorm. I was gonna say, as for revenge, you know what? He has the cape this time. It was kind of like a dicey fight, early on when he fought Moldorm 1, at the top of Hera. Definitely got bullied a little bit and knocked around. Looks like he wasn't gonna take any more chances. Looks like we're also not interested in opening up the Moldorm 2 chest there.
All right, Relkin headed over to Back of Skull Woods, so this will be new, but obviously we know it's nothing we need to complete the seed today.
Yeah.
But we are at Agatu on Magnit Handz side. We got 3 confusing wizards and getting a triple to start out with.
Yeah, no, that was really, really nicely done. Especially when like one of the wizards was kind of like basically at the very bottom of the screen. Like it was really pretty good that Magnit can like squeeze himself in there. Yeah, it was actually pretty good Agatu, right?
Yeah, nice 3 cycle.
Yeah.
That's all you can really like come in hoping for, realistically.
Alright, just the compass in the bridge chest of Skull Woods. So it looks like the last item is going to be on Moth itself. And of course, Relkin knows that, pedestal is going to be not a thing for him, so he doesn't have to necessarily, like mirror over to the light world and go pull it.
Right. All right, so we're dropping in on Ganon. You know how this fight works if you've ever watched this before, but just in case you haven't, we need 12 slashes for phase 1 or 6 spins. Same thing for phase 2, 12 or 6. We're already in phase 2. Going to get some nice dash pokes there from Magnit. Going to rack these up really quick.
Yeah, really nice this phase of 1 and 2. Got the looks like nice 1 and 1 already on phase 3. Yeah, a Magnit at this point, I don't know. Like, would you be watching the race room right now, like kind of anxious, or would it kind of be like shut down at this point?
You don't. If you've got the race room up, you do not watch it in the Ganon fight.
All right.
Maybe if you do, that's how you breed mistakes. That's how you fall off the platform. You got silvers. Just finish the job. If you lose here, you lose. But Magnit is doing a good job. Did get a double in. Gonna probably get another double right here to finish.
Oh, nice.
Ganon off. And with his sword in the air, we're gonna have that bridge open up, and Magnit is gonna walk on through and get a win over Relkin here in the group stage. Get your GGs in chat.
Yeah, get your GGs out in chat for Magnit taking actually, quite the victory here. 129.37 looks like official time. Very, very well played on Magnit's side, by the way. Like, his execution and routing, for this seed has been quite on point. Looks like that is actually it for Relkin as well. Kind of seeing the dot done probably in the race room. We would love to be able to chat with some of these guys. Get your G's out in Relkin as well.
Yeah, GG's to both of these guys. I guess at least their minimum 11th race total this season. Or from last season, I guess is the way to put it.
That's true.
And we are joined currently by Relkin. GG's.
Yo.
Hi,
welcome.
GG's. I'm glad that I did not lose because of the beginning of this.
Oh, and
We
we
are
are
also-
also joined by Magnit Handz winner today. You have GG's.
Thank you for the GG's, Dainty. GG's, Roken.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, GG's Magnet.
Thank you, Clear Mouse.
Magnet. So I guess we'll. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dancy.
Oh no, I gotta ask the most important question. So did you intentionally clip that mimic out in Mimics 1 and GT?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Good answer. Good answer. that is exactly what I want to hear. Whether it's true or not doesn't matter, but I definitely believe you.
No, it's true, but that trick's been failing me lately, so...
That's so cool if it's actually a thing. Wow.
That's an NMG strat where you, like,
Oh yeah.
if you have beams going into the climb, and you can, like, menu to mirror in the first Mimics room and clip the first one.
Yep.
Yeah, very nice. But yeah, so you know, this seed, I think the biggest thing, and it was kind of like Magnet's decision to go back to the mountain. You know, Relkin had not been at this point and already had mitts. So Magnet, what was kind of your thought process as far as, like, you know, just going back for that dark mountain check after getting the mitts?
So I thought I could hunt the mitts on the mountain. So I was trying to really clear, all the mountain in one go if I could. And if I lucked up on, like, hammer or whatever items I get, I'll be like, okay, the mountain's done. I know what the medallion is for TR, and I'll come back. But when I saw Mirror and Kane, I'm like, okay, let me just get my sword and go beat Hera. Saw the hammer, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of goofy. Like, this looks like a jet seed. So just proceeded to just go after that because I didn't want to touch none of the pendants today. Even the race room said Hungry Thieves Town. I was like, I don't want to go in there today.
A little bit of metagaming. I like everybody brings their own flavor to racing randomizer. I think that's what's so cool about it. So Relkin, I gotta ask this to you a little bit. For one of the early things you did after getting mitts, you dove right on in to Eastern. Did the beginning situation have any factor in that? Was it kind of like,
Absolutely. That was the
okay?
reason why I went in. Yep.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was like just trying to make a play happen, which is totally valid. You know, but
I guess kind of related to that, Magnet. So you went into Turtle Rock looking for the ice rod, which is totally reasonable. Afterwards, I believe you went to Eastern Palace as your first stop looking for the ice rod. What was your, I guess, like, what made you make that decision versus, like, all the other options you had?
That was the third stop, actually, because I wanted to try to not go to Eastern. I know that's your favorite dungeon, but I really didn't. I really didn't want to go to no pendant dungeons today. I'm facing a high caliber person named Relkin here, so I'm like, if I could not go into pendant dungeons and try to clear these breadcrumbs, I think I'll be okay. But I was also trying to preserve the portal, so my worst thoughts was escape. And then I'm like, okay, Magic Bat likes to hide the ice rod. All right, no ice rod. Let's go into Eastern, let's try to preserve this portal as long as possible. Nothing in Eastern. I'm like, all right, the spot that I was worried about the most was Graveyard Ledge as well as Bumper Ledge, because when I got the cape, I'm like, all right, I might have to go to those areas as well as Spike Cave. So I just was tying up some of the earlier things that I set, like hard set for this particular race against Roken.
Yeah, so but I guess, like, it kind of like at least towards the end, it looked like whoever decided to basically forgo the portal was basically going to be the victor, because at some point you did all these checks trying to keep your portal, and eventually you just said, you know what, I'm going to go to Graveyard Ledge, which happened to be the ice rod.
Hard to go right to Graveyard Ledge, though. That's like your suicide mission.
oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and kind of contrast to you, Relkin, right? Like, we basically, saw you do, I think, everything else at that point, right, before Graveyard Ledge.
I haven't even gotten there yet. I am still out there in the ether.
That totally makes sense, just all things considered.
Mm-hmm.
You had the book show up. I think that was in Thieves Town, or it was in Village of Outcast area, and that just kind of also led you on a couple of quests. Just a little bit of time here and there. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, Magnet, you didn't even get the book. I'm so mad.
Oh man,
Uh,
sometimes we just get those blessed seeds where you just like you can skip everything. It's really hard to do that, like sticking to your guns. So let me ask you about that Magnet really quick, and then we'll probably start wrapping up. But like, uh, skipping out on all of Village of Outcast in the end game, was that kind of a thought of at this point, if it's there, I've lost. Maybe because Relkin's probably checked that.
Yeah, it was kind of like, all right, so it was like a 50-50, right? I was talking to Roken about it, but I didn't get to really in the race room, but I didn't get to really explain. I've been kind of like studying a little something. Like when you do 5-6 before you do catfish, try to do graveyard ledge, then come back to catfish. So this is what happened as far as the Village of Outcast play. So after Swamp, I had 5-6 to do, but they gave me the shovel in the big chest. So I'm like, okay, I reluctantly have to go over left. I don't want to go left, so I'm gonna go left, right? Go left, stumble on Quake. I'm like, all right, let's do 5-6. And then at that point, that's just that point. So I literally, to answer your question, yes, I'm like, okay, I don't want to have to go to anything that's dense. If I can find it in a one-off, great. If I lose because of that, okay, we just have to take that risk today and go back to the check that I wanted to go to originally through the 5-6, but didn't do it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And kudos, like I mean, it worked out today. Sticking to a play like that, obviously is really tough to do. We've seen
Yeah.
a lot of players
Yeah.
doing that, here and there, and with varying results. So, so yeah, really really cool that actually was able to work out for you today.
Thanks.
Yeah, so I think your record now is 1-1, right, Magnet?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
and
1-1
then
currently.
yeah, and then you have one more race I think to play against Hitsu. That is tomorrow, correct?
Yes, at 3 p.m. Eastern time.
Oh yeah, I think Dante and I were kind of talking about this a little bit earlier. Your group is super scary. So it's you, Relkin, Schultzer, and Hitsu. Like,
Yeah.
good luck to all four of you. But holy cow, like.
Whose group isn't scary? Are you really
Oh, yeah.
surprised at this point?
No. I mean, it's. I mean, this is also invitational, right? It's only 16 people make it, and so you really get some really, really scary names up here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like one of the first things I got told was like, "Hey, congrats on your 10-0 in the regular season. Your winning prize is getting to face Shoulder and Hitsu and Magnet. All right, awesome."
Yeah, just because you were the top seed coming in doesn't mean you're gonna get the easiest. It's not like college basketball where you're gonna like get the potentially easiest layout. But yeah, that's what's cool about Rando. It's kind of like pretty even playing field.
Give a nice rod hunt and all bets are off. Like not a linear seed, so definitely opportunities for anyone to win and those kinds of things.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess Clear Mouse, we should probably wrap things up. Let Dunka, go back to his house in Skull Woods, and light up a fire rod and see how things go.
Yeah, and with the big, with the gold sword too, right in the big chest.
Yeah, that he could, I don't know, stick a butter, spritz some meat with it, I guess. But joking aside, thanks for coming today, Relkin and Magnet. Thank you guys for doing this race. It was really good, and looking forward to see you guys play in your next ones.
GG's Roken, and thank you for the lovely commentary. I didn't know you guys was commentating. We got the dream team over here. I love y'all guys.
It was very
too.
Yeah. It was by the way very satisfying to see both of you go into Easter Palace. Let me just say that. All right. Yeah, I want to thank you guys so much again. I mean, like this was, especially when I saw the matchup, I was like, oh man, it's gonna be really awesome. You guys definitely did not disappoint, whatsoever. So thank you so much. It's very fun being able to commentate for you guys. Dante, thank you so much. It's always a blast to be able to commentate with you.
It was a good time. And everybody check out the On the Ladder Discord. Check out the schedule. Check for the pin matches. And that is something you're going to want to watch, even if you have to go watch like at the players channel. go do it. It's going to be a whole lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I also did, of course, again, also thank you so much, Dunka. You did so much tech support, background organizing, everything, to basically make, this entire tournament and restream happen. So while you're still, not up to 100%, this is a phenomenal effort on your part. And I also want to thank Magic for tracking for us, because they did a phenomenal job. They didn't miss a single thing. Did you know that?
They did a great job. You also have to thank the other admin, Herfy Durfy, for doing his best. I'm not sure what it was, but he did his best for us.
He's got a crown for a reason.
Being a giraffe.
All right, yeah. So we've definitely overstayed our welcome, but thank you guys again, and thanks to the ALTTPR Ladder channel for having this restream. We'll see you guys real soon.
Yeah. All right. Have a good night.